brief introduction, I'm a third-year assistant professor in the computer engineering department. I spent 15 years after my PhD and before I came here in a variety of roles in the tech sector. My last role was at Accenture Operations, where I led a team of developers, architects, research scientists, deploying virtual assistants and knowledge management solutions. So essentially trying to kind of help with knowledge work, information finding, tasks, etc., in enterprise settings. I teach natural language processing at the graduate level in computer engineering, and I also teach other AI classes. Now, I wanted to kind of outline a few ways in which things have changed from before we had ChatGPT and now that we do, in terms of some of the ways in which knowledge workers and students, and we ourselves are knowledge workers, we have to manipulate knowledge and use whatever's available out there and then add new knowledge potentially. So writing reports is one of my examples. So that's on the writing side. So without ChatGPT, what we had was, we do a lot of searching for information. We're reading a lot of articles, a lot of papers, depending on the type of work. And that is very time consuming and also very error prone. We like to think that ChatGPT has introduced kind of more fake or hallucinated information, but really this fake information or inaccurate information is already out there, and we don't always check the sources very carefully. So we search for information, maybe we talk to other people in order to find out more information or understand the information that we found better. Then we kind of stitch it together into some kind of a report or paper or survey. And then usually we have to synthesize some additional points and insights. And of course, there's the communication part. So how do we make the writing compelling? So that also has to happen. Now, with ChatGPT, we no longer have to go around searching the internet for different information. We maybe don't even need to talk to other people. We now don't necessarily need to stitch it together. ChatGPT has kind of packaged the information from different sources. The kind of overviews and summarizes what we want to know when we ask a particular question. We still can and should synthesize additional points. So we definitely need to add more to whatever we have found, whether it's through ChatGPT or not. This is where our creativity comes in. And finally, it helps us by not having us generate text, generate compelling and well-communicated text. And there's a new item here that is more emphasized. We have to validate the information that we got from ChatGPT. So while it sounds great, we do know that it currently is not always providing real information. So more time is spent on this kind of validation and critical kind of thinking. But overall, this is what we've been trying to do with automation tools, try to remove the drudgery of finding information online and be able to communicate better, more easily. And certainly this is especially important for some of us who come from other countries, people who are learning English, people who may not have had educational opportunities that enable them to communicate well yet. So ChatGPT helps with that. Now, how does that change the learning experience? So I've repeated the points of what happens with ChatGPT here. And, because we're no longer searching for information, maybe searching effectively and efficiently online is no longer something we learn. Maybe we're not talking to other people to find information, and we're no longer learning how to stitch the information that we found together because ChatGPT does that for us. We still have to synthesize new information. So that I don't think really has changed. If you want to contribute something original, you'll have to come up with new insights, especially knowing that everybody is using ChatGPT puts more pressure on us to come up with something different from what ChatGPT spit out. And in terms of communication skills, we're no longer editing and revising. We're more in a situation where we're picking what sounds good and true to us and whether it resonates with the way we want to express ourselves, as opposed to generating it from scratch. So the problem of communication has turned from generating to picking. And that's in some ways like a multiple choice question versus an essay question. We already use that kind of approach. And finally, perhaps our critical thinking will be more evolved now because we have to be very concerned about validating what ChatGPT is providing and what unique insights we can contribute to it. And just one last example with coding. So with coding, there are a bunch of things that happen now. There are a bunch of things that are easier with ChatGPT, but there are things that are still remain that we have to do. We still have to come up with ideas. We still have to kind of test, validate, make sure that what the code it has spit out is what we want. We have to make adjustments. We have to iterate and improve. But isn't this what we've been trying to do all along? We have a whole no-code movement. We want to remove the need to learn and program in different languages and instead allow everybody to be able to create software tools and applications. So that's my part. Thank you all for listening.